All right, we are going live on YouTube today. Let me finish. Let's see here. Let me finish putting this on all the social media. There we go. So I hope everybody had a great week. It is giving me trouble, but we'll figure this out. Why? There we go. Didn't want to let me paste in the link to the YouTube thing. But hey, we're here to talk about all things cord cutting. So why the sunglasses? Well, had a little bit of eye surgery today and got an all swollen up eye. I don't know what you think. Should I wear the sunglasses? Go without the sunglasses? What do you think? Let me know what you think, but let me more importantly know what your questions are for cord cutting, what your questions are for, or what topics you want to talk about in the world of cord cutting. We'll love to chat with you. If you have any questions, comments, let me know and I will do my best to answer them. Otherwise, hey, let me bring up the stream so I can see what you're saying right now because I can't see your comments yet. There we go. Colin, Teresa, Tom, go without sunglasses. Go like this. But yeah, so I had a little bit of eye surgery on my eyelid today. That always is fun. So we'll get everything going. Oh, I almost forgot to share this on Facebook. I don't know where my brain is. Let's here we go. Come on. Publish. There we go. I don't know why. The browser's getting all crazy. Kid says he's watching the playoffs. Yeah, there's been a lot of great games in the playoffs so far this year. Tim says, Sling TV good or bad? Well, Tim, that really depends on what streaming service or what channels you want. Sling TV is a great option for many people. Many people really love it. So if it offers everything you want, get it. My recommendation is all the streaming services pretty much offer a free trial. Take advantage of the free trials. See which one is right for you, and pick the one that's a good fit. Mark asks, is the Stream Plus, which is the new DVR from Channel Master. It's based on Android TV. It's basically an Android TV player with a DVR for over-there TV built into it. Will it begin Netflix? Yeah, so it doesn't offer Netflix. It's one of the few holdbacks on it. And at this time, no Netflix support on the horizon. This would not be the first time Netflix has randomly not approved a Android player. The what was it? The Razer, the company, had a Android TV box for a while, and I can't remember its name, but it never got Netflix. And they tried, and for some reason, Netflix just would not approve their device for the Netflix app. So yeah. Did you see the news, dude? Yeah, so Congress has been holding meetings about, Raymond asked, did I see that Congress is holding meetings basically about net neutrality? Yeah, Congress has had it for a while. Both the House and the Senate have bills related to net neutrality. And we are expecting them to pass some type of law in the next year or so. What do I personally use, asks D, and what services or hardware? So I have everything. I have every live TV streaming service. I have pretty much every streaming player, or 50 different streaming players. In my home, I mostly use Roku's. I love it because my 5-year-old daughter can use it. People, when they come visit, it's super easy for them to use. My parents, when they visit, can easily use a Roku. So we often use Roku. It's what I started with and just kind of what everybody in my household uses. I do have a Chromecast also in the house. Android TV, I'm very popular with that. The loss of Android or YouTube on the Fire TV is a major loss. I know you can get the browser, and that's okay. I kind of like the ability. I do a lot of casting from my phone to the TV of YouTube videos. So that's one thing out there. As far as streaming services, with my time, I mostly use like Hulu, Netflix, Amazon. During football season and so forth, I'll get a live TV streaming service. Of course, an antenna. Ooh, my microphone just fell. Uh-oh. Looks like the screw got a little loose. I use an antenna in my attic, and I use a Tableau DVR to record it and also stream it throughout the entire home. So that's everything I use primarily, but I have everything. Apple TV, Fire TV. My issue with the Fire TV is I wish they had a dedicated YouTube app for casting. Apple TV, I really don't like the remote on the Apple TV, just to be honest with you. All right. Thoughts on the Mohu Relief? Mohu Relief just won the Consumer Reports Best Indoor Antenna. I've always been very happy with the Mohu antenna. I actually just got their new antenna in. I'll be testing that in the next couple of days, so look for that. But overall, I've been very happy with Mohu products, period. The originals come back tonight? All right. I need a second antenna. Any other recommendations? The brands I recommend, of course, Mohu is a brand I recommend. Antennas Direct. RCA, Turk, same company. They're good brands. A lot of people like the WineGuard brand. Those would be the main ones. Channel Master has some interesting ones too. Those are the brands I would recommend checking out that I've been impressed with in my testing. What package could Cheddar go to on Sling TV, orange or blue? In theory, Cheddar probably will, or Cheddar is already, I believe, on Sling TV, if I remember right. Sling TV does have Cheddar. What they're adding is the new Cheddar Big News, which is Cheddar's like a financial news channel. Now they're launching a dedicated news channel, so just news, not necessarily news related to financial. And I would be surprised if it's not in the base package on both blue and orange. What are your opinions? What's your opinions from the Broadcasters Convention last week? So I was at NAB. That's why I wasn't here last week. The National Association Broadcasters Convention. It was a lot of fun. They are doubling down on 3.0 over the air TV. That's definitely going to be a big part of what they do the future. Past that, there wasn't a lot of exciting things this year. A couple things are happening right now. I think a lot of broadcasters are kind of in a wait and see mode. It was interesting that compared to years past when I've gone NAB, this was a much smaller feeling show. The center hall, a lot of the very expensive spaces were actually empty. Where on the side halls, the smaller, cheaper spaces were packed full of it. I was surprised to see YouTube was there, Google and so forth, but they were not showing off any YouTube TV products this year, which was kind of a shock, to be honest with you. My main thing is it definitely had a feeling of concern. A lot of people kind of holding off, just kind of looking around at what they can do to maximize profits with dropping subscriber counts, and a lot of 3.0 excitement with the new over-the-air TV 3.0 standard. So we'll have to wait and see what happens with all that. But that was kind of my impression. No earth-shattering news. I talked about Vidgo made a few announcements. It sounds like they're making some changes, trying to get ready to go on the market. And then ATSC 3.0, the new over TV standard, was the thing that everybody had everywhere. How soon do I think DirecTV Now 2.0 will launch? So DirecTV Now 2.0 is coming later this year. Should be. To look at it, when you look at them, what they're doing with the apps right now, with the splash screens, with them dropping support for first generation Fire TVs and Fire Sticks, sounds like they're really close to being ready to launch. From the looks of it, they kind of looked around and said, this device and this device is not going to be able to handle what we want, or it's giving us some kind of issues, so we're going to cut off support on those and go with these other ones. One thing, I haven't really written about this a lot, but I've mentioned it in a few posts. It sounds like the third stream, so currently you get 2 streams of DirecTV Now. They were advertising for an additional fee to get a third stream. Well, with the 2.0 rollout of the beta that came in the last week, the mention of the third stream was removed. So all the home screens, everything that used to mention it, no longer mention the home screen on it. So we'll have to keep an eye on that. Will maybe the DVR and 2.0 app come out and then at a later date the third stream? We'll wait and see what happens, but that's kind of what we see. I would be surprised. I think it's the DVR and 2.0 apps are coming out this year sooner than later, if that makes sense. This spring, I mean to say, not this year. I think we're closer than we are farther away from it coming out. It could be tomorrow, could be next week, could be a few weeks now. I would be shocked if May comes to an end and we don't have it launched, just to be honest with you. Could happen, but I would be shocked. All right. Hey, if I don't answer your question and it scrolls up, re-ask it. I know a lot of people are like, hey, you didn't answer my question. And to be honest with you, what really happens with that is there's so many questions and comments here that it gets lost. All right. There we go. Had to adjust it. For some reason, YouTube downgraded to a really slow speed on mine. But it's good to see that the up quality stream is good. I have 100 down. I don't know why YouTube downgraded a 140p on my feed here. What are your thoughts on the Air TV box? I love the Air TV box. It is sitting right over my shoulder, kind of behind the text that says we now have an iOS and Android app. By the way, link in the show notes to that app. But I absolutely love the Air TV. I love the new DVR on it. I love the idea that it has Netflix, Hulu, and Sling all in a single interface. If I was buying a box today for my parents, that would be the box I would get them because it has everything right there. So yeah. I like DirecTV Now. If I had YouTube's DVR. Well, they have a DVR. Hang in there. It's probably sooner than later. Do any of the streaming services offer permanent discounts? Well, the real one that offers a discount is if you're an AT&T Unlimited customer, their wireless plan. You can get $15 off, I believe it is right now, the DirecTV Now streaming service. Rick says he's cutting the cord on May 14th. Congratulations, Rick. Hang out here. Check out our CoreCardsNews.com 101 guide. Link in the show notes down below. And that should help you get going down the path. If I switch from Roku to an Amazon, will I have to rebuy my paid channels? No. So if you have Netflix, etc., you just have to log in. The only catch there is if you're using Roku's billing. So let's say you have HBO Now billed through Roku. I don't personally do that, but you may have to cancel that subscription and re-sign up either at HBO site or like through Amazon channels. But no, it'll all be there. My recommendations: don't throw away the Roku. Buy the Fire TV, play around with it. If you decide you're happy with it, keep it. And maybe sell the old Roku. If you decide you're unhappy with the Fire TV, go back to the Roku and sell the Fire TV. Can I talk about ESPN Plus? Yeah, so I talked about this at great length. There was, you're right, Adam. You and a lot of other people were like, I thought this was going to have ESPN, ESPN2, etc. And that is really a lot of news sites' fault. A lot of news sites covered ESPN Plus as a cord-cutting service. And I wrote a whole story about it, and it was really interesting. So I wrote a story about how ESPN Plus is not for cord cutting. It's not targeting cord cutting. And it was really funny to read the comments because a lot of people clearly did not read the story. And they were like, oh, I'm a cord cutter and I subscribe to it. And if you read this story, you would have seen that I talked about how ESPN Plus is really targeting the hardcore sports fan. So ESPN Plus with it basically allows you to go out there and if you're a sports fan, get a ton of extra content that doesn't air on ESPN, ESPN2, etc. It does not give you access to ESPN. It's not going to replace your Sling or your YouTube TV, etc. It's not going to replace your cable subscription. It's just going to bring you additional content. Now, some of that used to be ESPN3 content. ESPN3 is still there. There's still free stuff on it, but some of that content is moved behind the ESPN Plus firewall. But there's a ton of additional content, including back catalogs of mini sporting events all the ways back into the 60s. So if you're, I'll be honest, I sometimes love to turn on the TV when I'm cleaning the house and have a old football game playing on ESPN Classic or something. I used to do that when I was cable. Now with this, there's a huge back catalog at ABUS 500, the Masters, tons of boxing. Mike Tyson, Ali, more classic events. Again, all the ways back into the 60s on there. So if you think of ESPN Plus as an add-on service to your existing Sling TV, DirecTV Now, etc., you will be better understand what ESPN Plus is. Unfortunately, a lot of the headlines around ESPN Plus are ESPN launches a cord cut, tries to take on cord cutting with ESPN Plus or whatever. And it's really not. I mean, cable subscribers are likely to be just as interested in ESPN Plus as cord cutters are. It's targeting sports fans. It's not targeting cord cutters. It just happens to also be a streaming service. Just because something's a streaming service does not necessarily mean it's a cord cutting service. Does that make sense? Let me know if that makes sense about ESPN Plus. Raymond says, will Pluto TV be adding any new channels, any new Cheddar channels? Very possible. At this moment, I have not heard of ESPN Plus, or excuse me, Pluto TV adding the new Cheddar big news service. It could in the future. And one thing to remember with Cheddar, a lot of people got me on me like, Luke, you forgot to mention that it's 100% free. The free version of Cheddar and the paid version are different. They do offer some of the same stuff. The free version of Cheddar offers a few hours of free content. The paid version offers everything the free does, plus a ton more content, additional hours. And I even think on the free service, depending on where you watch it, you get different hours. Don't count me on that. But I do believe, but I do know for sure that the paid version gives you additional live content that the free one doesn't. And the free version, I think on different services, gives you different content. Don't count me on it. I think like the Twitter and Pluto TV show at different times, maybe. I don't know. But yeah, keep that in mind. Do you think we'll be able to get our real locals on any premium service? Kevin, I don't know where you live, but I've said this before. At the rate locals are being added right now, by the end of the year, if you don't have locals on a streaming service, it'll be on at least one or more by the end of the year. Check around, DirecTV Now, Hulu. Hulu's got the most. PlayStation View, DirecTV Now are pretty close right behind. Fubo's catching up pretty quickly on the number of locals. So try them out. See which ones work best for you. They all offer a free trial, and they will all allow you to get the content you want quickly. Any word on if YouTube TV will be offering a second tier package, or if they have any anything coming more than Showtime? Not this time. YouTube TV at this time has not hinted at any additional add-ons. I think if YouTube TV needs to be honest, if they do need to raise the price, they can't raise it again. They need to go and just add on to create an add-on to their existing service. I hope they don't stupidly just try to keep making their package bigger and bigger. Does Comet have a... Oh, that's a misspelling on my phone. Does it have a app on smartphones? And no, it doesn't. MeTV does. Many others do. Like MeTV will allow you to stream many shows on your phone or tablet. But I don't see a Comet app, which is weird because they have one on Android and Roku. Hello, do you have any info on the new Mohu snail antenna? Nope, not familiar with that particular antenna. They do have that new Blade one, I guess it is, wherever that new modern one. I don't believe it's called the snail. But we did receive a review unit today, actually. I'll be working on that review over the next couple of days. Probably this weekend or early next week, have it up. Javier, thank you so much for the $5 donation. I really appreciate that. That goes a long ways to help supporting Cord Cutters News. He asked, he said, I canceled my DirecTV Now service and I'm now a new cord cutter. Congratulations. And I really hope Javier, I had a friend with a similar spelling and that's how he pronounced it. If I mispronounce your name, I am sorry. But he says, I'm looking forward to this. Yeah, hey, here's my thing about being a new cord cutter. It takes a month or so, at least 2 weeks to a month, to really kind of learn where everything is. Don't get discouraged if like next week you're kind of like, I want to watch this show, but I can't find this show. Hang in there. You'll figure it all out. You'll figure out which services you have. And it's very possible that you started off with like this bundle of like 2 or 3 services that you really liked. Maybe a month from now you say, hey, that third one, maybe Netflix isn't right for us. I would rather drop that and replace it with Boomerang or replace it with Amazon, etc. And don't be afraid to like say, hey, I don't think this service we're getting enough use out of it. Let me cancel it. We can always come back to it. That's the thing with people when you come from cable. You're setting this mindset that I signed a 2-year contract, right? Cord cutting, it's very easy to say, I'm going to drop this channel or this service and then maybe pick up a different one. Maybe I have HBO now and I want to try Showtime for a month. And then when I'm done with Showtime for a month, maybe I'll try Epix for a month and then drop Epix. And then maybe I'll go back to HBO. You can easily jump around and try different ones. So that's my number one tip. Bounce around, have some patience, and enjoy. Have fun with your cord cutting experience. And just remember, all things with change, it sometimes takes a little while to get used to the differences. Thanks, D. I really appreciate the donation there. It really does help us a lot. Thank you greatly. Yahoo's Roku channel shows in-depth MLB highlights. Yeah, the Yahoo has a Roku, and I think they also have an Apple TV, Fire TV, and Android TV. Don't come in on an Android TV part, but they do a really nice job now because they're part of Oath, which is owned by Verizon, which includes AOL and a ton of different products. Even there's a couple other ones out there. I was blanking out on all of them, but they do a really good job of offering a ton of content out there. Anyone having problems with tonight's show on YouTube with Roku? It's buffering really bad. I have not heard that. Usually when there's a lot of issues network-wide, I get a lot of tweets. And of course, my Twitter account is not up. All right, let me take a look. Let me see if we have a ton of complaints. I don't see anybody tweeting me about it. My number one recommendation then, if you're having a lot of issue, is to check your internet speed. Sometimes you have to come behind that router, unplug it, wait about 30 seconds, plug it back in. If you have a modem and a router separate with Wi-Fi and the modem are two different devices, unplug them, plug them back in. ACC Sports Fan says, how come, oh wait, wrong person. Somebody asked about why my IPVanish isn't working with Hulu. IPVanish is a VPN, or is it a DNS? It's a service that will allow you to spoof your locations and other. And services are cracking down with that. They have contracts with content producers out there that says, we will show your show to people that only live in this market. Because if you live in Canada, they may have sold that rights to Canada that were sold to Netflix in the US are not available to Netflix in Canada, for example. So many of these services go out there and deliberately block you because it's in violation of their contract. They're trying to keep the content providers happy. If the content providers think that you're harming their business with other competitors in other markets in different countries, maybe they'll take their content away from Hulu. So that's why Hulu and others are going after it. Chad, thank you for the donation. I really appreciate your support there. I can't say this enough. It really does help Core Cars News a lot. Any news on when Hulu's live with the new guides coming? So Hulu has been beta testing a new guide, and it's been on the website version for a while now, and they are slowly rolling it out to additional markets to help or additional devices in beta. Well, I would say over the next few months, look for the guide to come out to more and more devices. It's more of a traditional guide, but not a full traditional guide. But it's definitely, I think, a step in the right direction for what most people want. Kurt, thank you so much for the $10 donation. I really appreciate it. Your support is greatly appreciated. Richard says, MeTV for Android, it's just a guide, no stream. I swear when that app came out on YouTube, it had streams on it. Did they remove that, or am I confusing that with another streaming or another over-there TV's channel? Somebody help me out here. Did MeTV used to have a guide or streaming, and then they dropped it on their app for Android and iOS, or did it not ever have it, and they just recently changed that? I don't know. Let me know. Kurt says, hi, here in Allendale, Michigan. Proud Grand Valley State University grad. Hold on. I don't know if you can see that, my Grand Valley State golf ball right there. I'm a proud alumni of GVSU and Grand Rapids native. I want a service with the most sports and must have Fox Sports Detroit. Currently have PlayStation Vue. Don't like Sling. Any others I should try? DirecTV now, but depending on which package you want, it could cost you more or less. If you go on the discounts, like I'm still on the $35 discount package for the Go Big package with DirecTV now, because I've had it since it come out, and that's a really good deal. I would shop around, see which ones. YouTube TV may be a good fit for you. It may not be a good fit for you. I'm assuming you want the Big Ten network. Pretty much everybody has Fox Sports Detroit in their streaming package. Sling TV does not have the Big Ten network, so that's probably not a good fit for you. I'm assuming you're a Big Ten fan or you're a Michigan State fan. So I would check out DirecTV Now, YouTube TV. Hulu is another one that you may want to consider. If you already have a Hulu subscription, it's only $32 to add the live TV service. So check it out. Do cable companies own the cable wires? Yes and no. They will own the last mile to your house, definitely. Inside your town, there's multiple different backbones that go inside your town, and they probably don't own that. So keep that in mind. It's that last mile. But with that last mile, that's one of the reasons why people are going to 5G fixed wireless. It gives you the same speed as fiber, but instead of having to run a wire, people talk about it basically will reach like 4 to 5 football fields in length per tower. Well, if you think about it, in your neighborhood, 4 to 5 football fields will reach a few hundred homes. So if I put one tower inside one neighborhood, I can service this entire neighborhood with 5G signal for wiring one tower. In my neighborhood, there's something like 300 homes. If I had to wire each individual home for 300 homes, that could be 4, 5, 6 months of daily hard work, digging up people's yards, running wires up to them. Stuff that the cable companies and the phone companies did years ago, new internet providers would need to do it again. With a fixed wireless service, they can put up one tower in the center of your home, of your neighborhood, and stream it out, and it's all right there, which makes it so much easier to access all that. So keep that in mind that it's still a new thing, and they're learning about 5G. It's supposed to launch in like 20 markets between Verizon, AT&T, T-Mobile, and others by the end of the year. But it really is coming, and I think it really is going to change a lot of things out there. For which routers I'm using, I personally think the Netgear brand of routers is a pretty good one. I would recommend checking out that brand. The Zytel one, which most people don't know of here in the States, is big in Europe. They shipped us some units to review. I believe I'm saying it right, Zytel. Highly, highly recommend you check that out. It is a really great great streaming product. Linksys, which I believe, then they rebrand that to something else. Somebody help me. I've used those a lot. I really like them. So I would say those brands were what I like. Mesh are good. I'm not necessarily, the Zytel Mesh Network I was a big fan of. The Netgear one I was not a fan of. Actually, I ended up returning it. People tell me the Google Wi-Fi one is a great one, but I haven't been able to test it out yet, so we'll see. Raymond says, Luke, Charter Spectrum is launching 5G in the Albany, New York area anytime soon. I'm not sure. I know Charter is launching 5G testing. Oh, I pressed that little button. I have not bought a camera yet. I need to get a new camera. It's on my list of things to do. 5G in Charter in Grand Rapids, Michigan, which is kind of an interesting thing. So Charter has some markets right next to Grand Rapids, Michigan, but not in Grand Rapids. It's a Comcast market. So they're building kind of an extension off their cable network into Grand Rapids to test 5G there. And now instead of just having Comcast and AT&T for phone, pretty much be your only two options, now Charter is going to offer 5G there. So now you have a third major, and there's a fiber network being built out there. So now you have 4. And that's what we need in cord cutting. We need competition. 5G is going to bring that. Charter in Grand Rapids is a great example, going from 2 to 3 to now another fiber network being built on top of that. So now you're having 4. Once Google, Dish, AT&T, Verizon, and more launches 5G in Grand Rapids, now you're talking about 6, 7, 8, 9 ISP options. So that's pretty cool. Keep that, competition's coming. Hang in there. Chris says, and thank you for the donation, Chris. I really appreciate it. It's a huge help. And thank you to everybody who's been so generous today. Running Core Cards News is rather expensive. Just the hosting of the dedicated server costs hundreds of dollars every month. So thank you for your donation. Are ISPs known to match better offers? Yes. And this is one of the tips I talk about with saving money for internet. Even if you don't intend to change your internet service provider, it's a good idea to once or twice or once a year or every other year, go shop around. If you're on cable, find out what DSL is offering. You can say, hey, Comcast, AT&T, or CenturyLink, they're offering me this speed at this price. Could you do better? And see what they do. You know, you may have to do some negotiating. You may have to threaten to quit for them to honor that deal. So I have found, though, if you're willing every year or two to call them, sometimes actually switch. I think the best deals really comes when you are willing to pull the trigger, say, hey, well, like in my neighborhood, CenturyLink, it now offers gigabyte fiber service right to the house. Maybe you call them and say, hey, you know, they're offering speed faster than my cable provider now. They have a good deal. What can you do to keep me, cable company? And if that cable company is not willing to make a better offer, then maybe I actually do switch to CenturyLink. So you have to be willing to actually pull the trigger to get the best deals. And yeah, that may be discomforting for a few days where you have to wait for the CenturyLink guy to come and hook you up and then ship your cable boxes back to the cable company with the modem in it. But hey, I'm only paying $29.99 for 100 down at my home, because I am every now and then willing to make that jump back and forth. So keep that in mind. Why would anyone deal with DSL after AOL did it 20 years ago? Raymond, here's the thing. You know, you're thinking 20 years ago DSL. You need to wipe that out. DSL is not what it used to be. I have DSL in my home, in my neighborhood here, that has a 1 gigabyte fiber speed. And you're thinking, you know, DSL 20 years ago has nothing to do with DSL today. DSL in my neighborhood, which is a fairly new neighborhood, is faster than cable. They offer significantly faster speeds than the cable internet. Cable is responding. This is a classic case of competition. Cable just came out and said, hey, we will bring fiber gigabyte speeds to your neighborhood by the end of the year. And they've been running new lines to this neighborhood. You can see them down the main street digging up and putting fiber coming into the neighborhood. So competition is bringing faster speeds and lower prices. In compensation, because CenturyLink is offering faster speeds, the cable company lowered their internet price here and some of their entry-level packages. That's why I got $29.99 for 100 down. That's why I'm so excited about 5G. When competition comes into a market, when there's more than just one, maybe two service, it will drive down the price. Jeffrey says DSL in its area is only 6 down. Comcast Xfinity is 200 down. Yeah, that's still true in some areas, but increasingly, especially if you're in a city of any reasonable size, that's not the case anymore. That most DSL providers now offer at least 40, 50, 60 down, which is more than enough to be a cord cutter. So keep that in mind. Oh, you live in Ohio, Jeffrey. Well, my apology. Go blue. My recommendations: move to a better state like Michigan for better internet coverage. I don't know. Just kidding, Jeffrey. Go blue, though. April 23 is the date that net neutrality is officially repealed. How will it be before ISPs start messing up with our internet? Well, here's the thing about net neutrality. People kind of are losing big picture on. Net neutrality is a relatively, 2.5-year-old, maybe 3 years old now, service. And if you think about in the big pictures of it, net neutrality has not been along that long. I was a cord cutter before net neutrality was a reality out there. Now that net neutrality is coming to end, people are all worried cord cutting is going to go away. My response to this: cord cutting was around before net neutrality. Sling TV existed before net neutrality. Cord cutting will exist after net neutrality. There are many states imposing their own bills and laws, and as more states do that, it makes it harder for cable networks to put in unreasonable things in one state but not the next because of the net neutrality rules. So keep that all in mind. Here's my recommendation, and this goes for all news, not just net neutrality. When you have a news story, there'll be a group of people that will say the world is coming to an end. You cannot live. You'll be dead before dinner. There is a group of people who will say everything is fine. Nothing to worry about here. And the truth is somewhere in the middle between everything's fine and the world's coming to an end. And net neutrality is kind of the same thing. The doom and gloomers will tell you the world is coming to an end. You would suddenly never be able to access, YouTube will go away. Sling TV is going to go away. Netflix is going to go away overnight. And there's people who will say nothing bad's going to happen. Everything's going to be fine. Somewhere between those 2 points is the truth. And in my personal opinion, it's closer to the everything will be okay. I'm not saying everything's going to be okay, but I think the doom and gloom people are overselling their case a little bit there and making it hard to have a real discussion about it. Is net neutrality a good thing? Yes. Is it the end of the world that we don't have it? No. And the world is not going to end. The internet's not going to end. Remember, we've only had internet for 2.5, 3 years, or net neutrality for 2.5, 3 years. Internet existed long before that. And cord cutting existed long before that. So keep that in mind. Am I using a router now? No, I'm not talking to you at all. Yeah, of course I have a router. Again, I think earlier in this video, I talked about all the different ones I would recommend. If you're using cable ISP, I certainly see them throttling, blocking streaming services. They could, but just because the FCC is not regulating them, the FTC is regulating them. Remember, Comcast did that before. The FTC came in, they were throttling like BitTorrent, and FTC slapped a fine and stuff on Comcast and prevented them from throttling that stuff, BitTorrent. I would not be surprised to see, the FTC has a history of enforcing these rules. So I think one of the things people need to remember is just because the FCC has said the internet's not something we should regulate, the FTC now regulates it. So it's not like it's a Wild West. It's not the end of all regulation. FTC rules now apply to the internet instead of FCC rules. Basically, one governing board has swapped responsibility for the other. Again, it's not the end of the world. Take a deep breath. Somewhere between everything's fine and doom and gloom is the truth. And I would say it's probably somewhere right over here. So no need to panic. The world is not coming to the end with net neutrality. Any word on DirecTV Now 2.0 on Roku? Well, Roku has the beta. 2.0 really didn't change much. It seems to be more of a back-end thing. I would not be surprised when DirecTV's Now DVR everything comes out with Roku maybe staying behind a little bit in the beta. DirecTV Now came to beta testing a Roku late for some reason. I don't understand why when majority of cord cutters use Roku, AT&T for some reason is determined to work on Roku's last. Which is funny because Sling TV seems to work on Roku's first. So I don't know. We'll see what happens. When will Philo be launching their Apple TV app? Philo announced last week that this summer, Fire TV and Apple TV will begin a Philo app. When exactly that'll happen, we don't know in this, but it will happen this summer. Hey, I'm going to quickly hit play on an ad. Some of you will see it, some of you won't. It pays the bills. Thank you for everybody who donates. And this stuff really helps us keep the lights on here at Cord Cutter's News. Hey, to everybody who is still here, don't forget, Cord Cutter's News now has an iOS and Android app. Link in the show notes down below. There you can access a wide range of content. There's a ton of features there, from ability to download articles for offline reading, favorite articles. A lot of people I've noticed been favoriting our monthly guide of what channels are on what services. I saw a lot of people favorited that. So check it out. It's a great app. The Cord Cutter's News app for Android, iOS, Amazon Fire tablets too. All in the show notes is a link to go download it. So download it. Hey, give us 5-star reviews, please, on our YouTube or on our iOS listing, on our Google Play listing. We would really, really appreciate some 5-star reviews. It will help us a lot. All right, back into the questions. Which concerns you more, Y2K or net neutrality? Well, my mom was really worried about Y2K. We had a little emergency kit. I remember her, I visited her in the laundry room. She had a, just in case everything went south. Net neutrality and Y2K, I can see the comparison there. But, here's my thing. If you're worried about net neutrality, here's what I always tell you. The most effective thing to do, there's bills in front of the Congress and the House. I always say this, that the FCC is a non-elected board of people. These people are not accountable to to the citizens. That's why they don't really give a care what you say, because they're not accountable to you. Congress, on the other hand, is very accountable to you. And there's bills both in the House and the Senate. I highly recommend it you, if you're worried about net neutrality, politely do two things. Write a letter, not an email. Emails are deleted and disregarded. Trust me. Emails are not taken seriously. A nice handwritten letter, polite, don't be rude, and especially if you don't want a visit from your local law enforcement, send them a polite letter. Tell them that you live in their district. This is who I am. I'm very concerned about net neutrality. Would like you to support the bills out there to add net neutrality as a federal law. When it's a law, it will be much more difficult to overturn. And then contact your state and local representative. In many states, there's also laws. I think there's a half dozen now that have passed or are about to pass net neutrality laws. So keep that in mind. If you're really concerned about net neutrality, talk about it online doesn't do anything. It's kind of one of those things. Oh, I changed my Facebook profile photo. Doesn't really do anything. A polite phone call to your representatives, polite, goes a lot farther. And a polite handwritten note is the best thing you can do. Trust me, it really does have an impact on what your elected representatives do, because they're accountable to you. They want to get reelected in a way that the FCC couldn't care less about, to be honest with you. So it may actually be a good thing that the FCC gives it up now that Congress is taking up bills, because they are accountable to what we, the people, want. So I hope that makes sense. Take it with a grain of salt. That's my personal opinion on this. Just, be polite. Being rude won't get you anywhere, other than maybe a visit by your local law enforcement. Duff, hey, thank you for the donation. Huge thank you. Do cable companies take away cable wires that run from the box to the house to your house when you cancel? No, they do not. They may disconnect at the box. They'll leave the wire from the box to your home. What they'll often do is, they block you. Now that they're digital, they can just block you at the source. So they can go on their computer and say, 123fakestreet.com or .com. 123fakestreetdrive is what I meant. .com. It's been a long day. See what happens when you have minor eye surgery? Your mind goes away. What they do is they can go on the computer and cut you off. Cut off your internet. Now with digital TV, they can cut you off. In the old days, they would come to your curb on the box that's kind of locked into your street, and open it up and physically unscrew the wire end and then relock that box. That's why there was a big thing. People would come and cut those boxes open and then reattach their cable to their TV for free cable TV. Or they would slip the cable guy $100 and be like, hey, could you forget to disconnect my thing? Now that most areas are digital or will soon be digital, they can just turn that off at the home network. For instance, when it was analog, if you had paid for home internet, you would still get, TV would be able to plug it in and get the 1 through 60 in standard def. Now with digital, I'll explain why they go to digital in a moment. That doesn't happen anymore, because now it's a digital process. You need a converter box and all kinds of stuff to access it. Why are cable companies going to digital? Well, it does allow them to prevent piracy better off their network. But two, digital takes up smaller amounts of bandwidth. Cable internet can go faster because TV isn't taking so much. There's only so much bandwidth these wires can push. Part of it was set up for internet, part of it was set up for TV. Now with digital, they can compress that TV, offer you the same amount of TV in a smaller segment, open up internet on those lines to be even faster. So that's part of the reason why they're making these moves. All right. Donna says, so sorry I'm late. If you already addressed this, sorry, I can't get OTA antenna channels in my area. Is there a way I can get a DVR to work through the Fire Stick? Okay. Donna, first of all, that streaming service you use is a pirate service. It's not a legitimate streaming service. If you want a DVR, I would look at PlayStation View, DirecTV Now, YouTube TV, Hulu, Sling TV. DirecTV Now's DVR is coming soon. They all are legal. Philo, they're all legal streaming services with a DVR. So if you just want a DVR to record your streaming service, get a legal one. They already offer a DVR. That service may sound great, but here's my thing with it. If it sounds too good to be true, It probably is. So just keep that in mind. Sorry, John says, sorry for the long question before. Hey, keep the questions coming. If you ask a question, I didn't answer it, re-ask it. I will do my best to answer it right now. Any recommendations for a VHF antenna to combine with my current antenna in the attic? I wouldn't necessarily combine them. I would try to get one that does both, like a Antennas Direct V4. If you're got in an attic, maybe look at like a bigger one like the V4 that does both and does it really well. So keep that in mind. Is there any? The reason they go to digital is because the picture quality on TV is better than with digital than analog. Dean, there is some truth that they can do some HD channels better in that, but one of the big reasons that they went to digital is the fact that A, it's encrypted so that they can control, prevent people from pirating it. Two, it opens up more bandwidth for internet service. That's how they can offer faster speeds of home internet in your area. TiVo announced the OTA Romeo Vox box yesterday. You know, I don't think I saw that. TiVo is great. I think you're paying a premium price for a name. I do think Tableau, with their ability to stream it through all the devices in your home and outside your home at a far cheaper price, is a better deal than the TiVo deal, to be honest with you. Have I heard any chatter about Hulu adding more CW stations? No, they've kind of hinted that, yeah, more are on the way. Hulu has recently added some CW stations for the first time, but they have not announced what other stations will be coming. Excuse me. I have been going all day. I literally slid in the seat today again here. If you missed earlier, had a little bit of eye surgery on my eye today. And I had to drive 2 hours to the place to get it done and 2 hours back. And I got back in just as this was supposed to get in. So I kind of like hopped in the seat, turned on the lights, checked the camera. I haven't had dinner yet. Hungry. But kind of trying to keep on top of everything. It's been a hectic day. Hectic day of news, tons of news, and a hectic day of seeing the doctor. Is there any advantage... On Roku Ultra DS, is there any advantage to using an SD card? Every time I download an app, I see a message recommending one. I have 150 apps. Wow, you have more Roku channels than I do. I have 100 on my thing. At 150, yeah, I would say if you get an SD card and you put it into your Roku Ultra, it will mean you won't be reloading them. My only complaint about the Roku TVs, I absolutely love them. Like my bedroom went with a Roku TV. My only complaint is it doesn't have an SD card. So every now and then when I launch a channel, I have to wait there as it reloads it. Yeah, it takes about 10 seconds, but it's still annoying. When on my Roku Ultra, I have an SD card and we don't need to do that. Any app to convert Blu-rays to digital? Movie Fan, I think they're out there, but they're not. It technically is against the rules to do it if you share it at all. I think there's a backup. You're allowed to make a copy for personal use only. There's all kinds of rules. Most of the official apps don't do it because of copyright complaints. Dean, you know, my recommendation, he's saying that he's looking at their website and they say they offer, Hulu says they offer NBC in this area, but it doesn't say which NBC affiliate. I'm not sure if that means there's multiple in the area or if he lives kind of between two markets. And I used to live there where like St. Louis was some of our stations and Springfield, Missouri was some of our stations. So I get that. Hulu offers a free trial. Recommend taking advantage of it. See if you like it. If it isn't the NBC affiliate you want, maybe check out DirecTV Now, PlayStation Vue. Fubo has a lot of NBC affiliates, so check that out. All right. Vudu does have a disc to digital service with a fee to pay that licensing thing. I have used Vudu's disc to digital. It's very nice. Actually, I also, with video games, Origin does that too. Excuse me. Where you don't have to pay a fee, but you can enter your EA-owned games into Origin. It's pretty cool. Is the CW channel anytime soon DirecTV Now? DirecTV Now does offer the CW in select markets. Hopefully they'll be adding more. They've been adding channels every couple of weeks recently, so hopefully the CW will be more of those coming soon. Hey, about 10 more minutes, and then I need to go to the pharmacy actually to get my new get my prescription. So we gotta finish this on time today because I gotta get there before they close at 9. So let me and I know if you're in Eastern, I'm in Central Time. It's only 7:50 here. All right. So do you have any? So if you have a question, get it in now, or I may not have time later to actually answer it. Do you have any experience with DirecTV Now's DVR beta? Yes, I do. I think it's a very good beta. I have several videos on this YouTube channel. Go into our video library, type in DirecTV Now, and you'll be able to see several looks at it from different time periods in the beta process to get an idea what it looks like and how it works. I have been overall very impressed with it. You start off with 20 free hours, but you can buy additional storage on top of that. Can you use gift cards to watch Sling TV? Yes, Sling TV at pretty much every major store. I even think I saw them on a GameStop rack, but Walmart, Target, etc. Best Buy sells, I believe all those, I know Walmart for sure, sells Sling TV gift cards. You can go in there, buy your Sling TV gift card, and do that. I know a lot of people are very hesitant to give out their debit cards or credit card information online, so they do do it. Hulu also has PlayStation Vue, DirecTV Now. The PlayStation Vue gift cards, though, you need to buy the PlayStation Network. The same gift card you can use to buy like a game through the PlayStation Network. That will allow you to apply it to your PlayStation Wallet and then use it for PlayStation Vue. I don't think Philo does. I'm not sure if they take prepaid debit cards, to be honest with you. Fubo, again, I think they take prepaid debit cards, but don't count me on that. I'm not 100% sure on Fubo. Will local channels be in DirecTV Now soon? I'm on the beta. DirecTV Now has the second or third, depending on the day, most locals. There's a ton of locals. Now, sometimes I hear that the beta app doesn't have locals that the regular app will offer. So you may want to try the regular DirecTV Now app and see if it offers the local there. I would assume when the beta goes public, all the locals will be on it in the 2.0 version. Mohu Snail. Sale? Is that what it is? I don't know why I'm saying snail. It's sale. Mohu Sale. Did I miss an announcement? Oh yeah, here it is. It's an updated version of the Sky. It's been out for a little while now. I just missed it. Yeah, so they updated the Sky antenna to the Sail antenna. How did I miss this? They didn't tell me about it. They told me about the other one that came out. Mohu just had a new PR team come in though. Their longtime PR staff took another job and they got a new one, so that's probably why. Up to 75.2 mile. This is awfully specific. So the Mohu Sail antenna, not snail, Sail, has a 75.2 mile range. Have you ever seen an antenna say 75.2 or 65.2 or anything point something mile range? That's unbelievably specific. I will be emailing Mohu tomorrow and be like, hey, can I get a review unit? I'll see if I can get a review unit and try that out. But I'm floored that Mohu is listing as a 75.2 mile antenna. That's pretty cool. That's a very specific range. Does YouTube have the Weather Channel? I know DirecTV Now has the Weather Channel. YouTube is getting Local Now, not the Weather Channel. So Local Now is owned by, okay, D says that the 0.2 miles is because they're converting it from metric. Mohu is a U.S. company though. They're based right here in North Carolina. And I don't know if they sell, I know they sell outside the United States, but I don't think that's a big part of the business. It'd be weird that they would primarily do it in metric and then Best Buy would convert it from metric. So, I don't know. We'll see. That is very weird. Mohu is not a Chinese company. Mohu is based right here in North Carolina. They're a family-owned business. A husband and wife runs it. Very nice people. Unbelievably great to work with. Very generous. So, yeah, check that out. I believe, yeah, when you read that, when you ask about YouTube TV, you're talking about Local Now coming there. So YouTube TV is getting Local Now from, which is a owned by the Weather Channel. The Weather Channel is the ones who announced this, not YouTube TV. The Weather Channel said it was going to happen this week. We'll see if it happens this week or not. They got 2 more days to make that happen. But when it happens, we'll be posting about it. According to YouTube TV, this week, it will be coming to YouTube TV. Yeah, so the Weather Channel is on Fubo TV and DirecTV Now only. Local Now is on a ton of other ones, but it's being added to YouTube TV. And I swear when YouTube TV first launched, it was actually listed. I, for some reason, have a real memory of that, but for some reason, I can't remember it. Sorry I have to scratch my eye. I had a minor little surgery today, and it's making my eye all very watery. I'm trying to wipe the water out of my eye. Any news on CBS and Viacom merger? Basically, there was some news today I read for a little while ago that CBS and Viacom are still talking, but the holdup right now is that CBS wants to have control. That when the merger happens, CBS's leadership staff will take over for Viacom. And it sounds like that's the main holdup. All right. Last call for questions, 5 minutes, and then we'll wrap this up. Thank you to everybody who donated today. Kurt, Chris, Duff, Chad D, Javar. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. A good friend of mine, Javar, spelled his name that way, and I'm really hoping I'm pronouncing that right. But hey, thank you to everybody who donated. I really appreciate it. Do you know of any streaming box with a component output? Roku has an RCA. If you have an older TV, they want the red, yellow, and white connectors to plug into older TVs. It's the Roku Express Plus, sold at Walmart. Some people are selling them on Amazon now, but sometimes the price is cheaper than Walmart. Sometimes it's more than Walmart. So check your pricing. Walmart is now, you can walk in there, the Roku Express Plus comes with an RCA cable in the back. It's a really nice player for those older TVs. Check it out. Craig asked about Discovery and Scripps. So yes, Discovery did buy Scripps. They are now the parent company behind Scripps. That has been approved and closed on. So keep that in mind. Oh, hey, The Expanse. Anybody here watch The Expanse? That comes out tonight. I'm reading the 4th book right now. I started to watch the first season of the show. Unfortunately, I read the book first, and the book is so amazing. I don't know. The show had a hard time living up to it. So any fans of The Expanse and sci-fi, if you're not and you're a sci-fi person, check it out. It's a really good show. Even better book. Read the books. Wow, are they good. So check it out. What is the watershed moment when everyone starts streaming and drops cable? Well, we're already kind of seeing that, Kevin, with over a million people last quarter in the fourth quarter of 2018 becoming cord cutters. It's a little early to get the numbers from fourth quarter 2017. It's a little early for first quarter 2018, but over a million people in a quarter. Yeah, we're going downhill. Cord cutting is growing quickly. Keep an eye on that. Dean, yeah, I do agree with you. When most locals are out there, you know, the reality is for most people, sorry, I need to buy a real video camera, not my DSLR I'm using. As more locals are becoming out there, with an antenna, you can get a better picture of locals. You can get more locals and more stuff than streaming services offer. A lot of people don't want an antenna because they don't want to switch inputs. More and more services are trying to mesh that so that, like with Roku and the Roku TVs, the antenna is just right there on your Roku, right next to your Netflix and Hulu and so forth. I expect to see more and more of that come in the near future. As that becomes easier, as cord cutting becomes easier, as the content becomes easier, as the devices become more smooth and easy to use, I think cord cutting is becoming easier and easier, and more people are doing it, including my parents. So keep that in mind. But yeah, slowly growing. Kevin asks, is Vudu on the Fire TV? Do you ever see that happening? Possibly, but don't hold your breath. Remember, Amazon has the Fire TV to sell content on Amazon. according to multiple reports, they are not really making any money on the Fire TV hardware. They are trying to sell the Fire TVs, get them in homes, so you buy content through Amazon, and that means that they make money. So when competitor stores want to come onto the Fire TV, it's in Amazon's best interest to say no. Apple's been kind of the same way. They recently allowed the Amazon app on there, but they don't allow you to buy content through the Amazon app. So Vudu came onto the Apple TV, but again, they don't allow you to buy content through the app on the Apple TV because Apple wants you to buy on iTunes. So, hey, everybody, I'm going to wrap this up. That's the end for today. Hit that thumbs up, hit that likes. We're going to try to be here every Wednesday going forward. I've made some purchases that should allow me to do the Q&A when I travel. Last week, unfortunately, I was literally flying in when the show would have been happening last week. But I think going forward, I'm going to try to book flights around the Q&A. There may be one day in May, I may not. I'll try to do a different day. If the Q&A, if you're here and it's not happening and you're wondering, where's the Q&A this week? Check our social media. I will post a thing on Facebook, on Twitter, etc. that announces where we are, what we're doing. So keep an eye on that. But I'm going to try in the future that if we cancel a Q&A, which may happen in May because I have to go to some event, that I will try to do a different day. And we may even try to do a few Facebook apps again. So until later, take care, everybody. Like the shades? I don't know. They were cheap at the gas station today. We'll see. Take care, everybody. Have a good one. I hope you're all doing well. Thank you for your support. It means the world to me. Couldn't do this without you. Core Cars News is a great project I love, made better by all the kind readers and viewers who send us all the kind thank yous, thumbs up, shares. It's all really helpful. And thank you to everybody who donated today. We really appreciate it. See you next week, 8 p.m. Eastern, right here on YouTube.